Definitely. If you look at it, data is doubling virtually every year, and about 85% of the projected data growth going forward is going to be the new paradigm of data: mobile, social, clickstream, Internet of Things, sensor data, etc. And so that doesn't traditionally fit into the legacy silos, if you will, the relational databases, the EDW platforms, the enterprise data warehouse platforms. And so a new architecture is required to effectively capture, store, process, and then analyze all this new data. So it's estimated that by 2020, 40 zettabytes of information will be stored worldwide. And we believe that Hadoop is going to be the main platform for all of that new data to be stored, processed, and analyzed. Well, that's where Hadoop comes into play. So it's our view here at Hortonworks that we believe that Hadoop will effectively re-architecture or re-platform the data layer of the enterprise. And so we're definitely not disintermediating the legacy silos. We are integrating with those legacy silos and adding more functionality. So you would take some of the data, the structured transactional legacy data from a relational database or an enterprise data warehouse, replicate it, bring it onto the Hadoop platform, where for the first time ever you would combine it with the new paradigm of data, and then you would run your analytics, your applications on top of that platform through basically what is known as Yarn, which is effectively a data operating system, and those enterprise applications would plug on top of Yarn to effectively have access to the data lake, the Hadoop cluster, if you will. And some of those applications would include Vertica, Spark, DataStax, Tableau, Splunk, many common applications like that. Well, it's going to change quite a bit. Obviously, we have a situation where the legacy infrastructure isn't going anywhere. Obviously, we have a tremendous amount of infrastructure in place today, but that's going to be augmented or enhanced with some new forms of architecture. And again, that would be the combination of open source software like a Hadoop distribution, for example, Hortonworks Data Platform, HTTP, on top of commodity infrastructure. So basically x86 servers or nodes. And so that, in conjunction with the existing storage infrastructure, like network attached storage from NetApp or SAN, etc., network storage architecture would connect with the new sort of paradigm, if you will, of Hadoop, and effectively create the data lake, if you will. And so it's going to be a combination of existing platforms as well as some of these new platforms like Hadoop. Well, that's going to be what's really interesting, because the value of bringing all this data under management, the legacy data, coupled with the new paradigm of data, is going to be all the transformational use cases that emerge on top of the platform. And so the beauty is you're able to have effectively applications that have never been built before. So because you have all this vast amount of data under management on one single cluster, then you're able to run advanced analytics that you've never been able to do in the past. And so transformational workloads, advanced analytics, deep data exploration and discovery, predictive analytics, all these things are going to be now basically a reality because of what Hadoop is doing in conjunction with the existing architecture. So it's our view that it's not just data center optimization or IT optimization where you have ETL offload or an active archive. The Hadoop platform is going to be much more analytical in nature, and you're obviously still going to have your transactional elements that are already out there. And so that's how we view the world going forward. Well, if you think about it, much of the data that's being generated in the past wasn't stored. And it's our view that there is value in all types of data. And so if you have a platform or an architecture that will bring in legacy data, and you can store the new paradigm of data at cost-effective price points, then for the first time ever, you're able to combine those data sets onto one cluster and run analytics on top of that data set. And so with our technology, Hortonworks Data Platform, which is the only 100% open source distribution within Hadoop, you're able to run batch, interactive, and real-time applications simultaneously on the same cluster on a shared data set. So that's going to enable you to analyze the ubiquity of data going forward. Data protection is obviously paramount. So when you think about all these new architectures that are going to be weaved into the data center fabric of an enterprise, obviously it has to be enterprise ready. And so what that means is it obviously has to have the core elements from a Hadoop distribution standpoint, like HDFS and MapReduce and Yarn, etc. But it also has to have the data services that are commonly associated with the traditional storage portfolios in the marketplace today, such as management, security, operations, etc. And so if you think about some of the security and data governance initiatives, those are actually starting to gain much more attention on a go-forward basis. I would highlight open source projects such as Apache Ranger, for example, and the upcoming data governance submitted project called Apache Atlas. And so these are going to be much more at the focal point for many organizations going forward because of this fact of data protection.